So kamma is a natural law, and even if there is no ultimate self behind this body and this mind, still there are decisions being made. Intention is real. The results of intention are real. Intention will lead to thoughts, which can lead to speech, which can lead to action. So there is kamma being made, and then there are results from that. Conventionally, we can say, "Oh, this is my kamma," or "This is the result of my previous kamma." Well, that's just conventional language. It's like even enlightened people can still use conventional language. Say, "Yeah, I'm going to go, or I'm going to stay, or I'm going to sit, or I'm going to walk," but it doesn't mean they are positing a theoretical ultimate self. So there are intentions, actions, and results, and then that keeps flowing on. This is the law of kamma. And if we don't identify with it, it goes very smoothly. Where do intentions arise from? If you start to analyze what motivates you to do a particular thing. You think, well, if I look at what were the causes or set of conditions that led to a particular intention or motivation, and then think, okay, well, it's because of maybe this situation or hearing this, this past experience, or sometimes reading, or sometimes influence from somebody else that led to intentions and motivations, which led to action, and say, okay, and then those previous causes also had their previous causes, and it's just this massive, complex web that within which there are intentions and mental formations. The mind moves, there is consciousness. There are results of intentions. If we follow if whatever reason, intention seems like a mode of action that we like, or we think is smart or beneficial, then we will follow that intention, and then boom, 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 it leads to more and more results. Is there any real free will? Is there any free will? Huh?
What you're saying sounds like predestination rather than free will.
Aha! Thus, the crux of the question. Because the Buddha specifically said things are not predestined. Kamma is not at all fate. Things are not like written and we're just living it out without any choice. And yet, when you look at it very closely, you say, well, yeah, there are decisions based on intentions and together with motivations and surrounding circumstances, but that all seems to be happening by itself. If I didn't identify with the whole process, it would still kind of happen by itself. And then you say, well, in that case, there can't be any free will because there's no self. But there are decisions being made. But if it seems like these causes and conditions are leading in a particular direction, then the outcome, if you had all of the data, it would seem like you could predict the outcome of every intention. Every set of conditions, if you had all of the data, you said, yep, it's very predictable what the outcome will be. Even conventionally, if we look at our own mind, say decisions that we've made in our life, which seem like free will. You know, say, oh, I made my decision. But then we look at all the surrounding circumstances and you realize, well, of course we made that decision. It was very predictable. Yeah. So if we don't have mindfulness, if we have no mindfulness, then we definitely are leading a robotic, predictable life, simply based on causes and conditions. They've led to this moment right here. And then we will respond as in accordance with our habits or our defilements that have formed our habits. Right? So everything leads up to this point. If we don't have mindfulness, then we're just living very on automatic, robotic. Someone pushes our button and we respond in a particular way. Very predictable. But at least from our perception, it feels like if we have clear mindfulness, everything that leads up to this moment, so yes, I'm experiencing this, right? These sights, sounds, smells, tastes, I've experienced this mental state, I experience this emotion right now, but I can choose how I want to respond. I can choose to respond in an unwise way or a wise way. I can choose to respond. I can be patient, I can be angry, I can say something, I can not say something, there's like a whole range of responses. Right? It's like mindfulness will give us that time. Even though the mind is very quick, so if we're mindful, it feels like it's more spacious and we have more time. But still you can make this decision very quickly. But was mindfulness also not caused by our previous Buddhist practice? Mindfulness is not like unconditioned. Mindfulness is also a conditioned result of previous time. If we don't practice meditation, if we don't have encouragement to be attentive in daily life, then probably our mindfulness is not going to grow. Yeah? Unless it's, if we didn't have the teachings of the Buddha, then it would be more just up to individual personality or other circumstances. But to have a high degree of mindfulness usually involves some specific training, systematic training. So without that, then we really wouldn't have the opportunity for at least the illusion of freedom. If we have refined mindfulness, there is at least the illusion that we're making a free choice. Slightly less diluted. If we don't have mindfulness, then we're really deluded. We still think we're making our own free choices. But it's really not that free. Not very free. It's very predictable, just based on set of conditions and how we are brought up and our particular strengths and weaknesses and our particular defilements and our particular mental inclinations and all of these things together. And then a decision is made, and then we identify with it and say, yes, I made my independent free decision. But it's not really. So it's a very interesting question. This relationship of non-self, but also non-determination, no non-predetermination.